What's up, y'all? It's your boy. No, we ain't out here posting thirst traps. We're out here being in our late 20s, falling asleep on a Sunday night when we have a race car to build. So, what do? We get up off our butts and we build a race car. All right. There we go. Corner of Integra parts and work clothes. Like this belt? Peep the fit, son. Garage clothes. What the Alright, it's not much, but it's honest work. So I got a curly head Arturo Fuente cigar, and that's kind of like one of my favorite smokes. I really like the Arturo Fuentes. Really smooth smoke, for any of you cigar lovers. Cheap, like $5 for a long one like this. Jones are dope, right? Like I've had Monte Cristos and things like that, and they're okay. Padron is really good. It's kind of an expensive smoke, but side note, Arturo Fuente, especially the curly head Johns, $5. You really can't go wrong. Anyway, so these valves, they don't look brand new, and it's because they're not. They're the OEM valves, and I didn't take them to a machine shop for cleaning, unfortunately. Next time I do a build like this, I'm just taking the head to a machine shop, and I'm going to say, here's my $550 or whatever it costs nowadays. Just do the head. It's easier to have them clean it. It's easier to have them, do all the blueprinting and whatever else I need to do. But yeah, so I used oven cleaner. Thank you again, Spencer, for this tip. They look really good for OEM valves. They're not perfect, but they look pretty good. As you can see, we have some cigar ash because I like cigars, and then we have some valve seals. So last time I was in the garage, I was in the process of removing the valve seals to install some new ones. Kind of an annoying process. You got to heat them up with some heat, whether it be a flame or whether it be a heat gun, and then you got to pull them off with, like I was using these long needle nose pliers. Very annoying, but in order to achieve perfection, as I would say, you have to, put the work in. So I'm going to pull them all out. That's the plan for now. Do some organizing. I have this Gear X, thank you Kiwi, Special Projects. I got this Gear X 0.875 final gear, the last gear, fifth gear. And then I have a 4.9 final drive coming in from Spencer. Thank you again, Spencer. It might be a little bit too aggressive for a GSR. The head flow on this GSR, not as good as the Type R. Compression, not as good as the Type R. So, it doesn't make power up top. So, running 4.9 might be a dumb idea. But I have a 4.7, and I can run that if it's too short. Really, it's an H2 setup, entirely different. I'm looking to experiment. Kind of don't even really know why I came out in the garage right now, because I have to get the correct valve springs. These are OEM valve springs. I need to get dual valve springs for exhaust and intake on this motor with SuperTech, because I will be revving it so high. I'll be revving it to probably 9,000. I won't be taking it up there on every opportunity that I can, but when I run out of gear, I'm probably going to take it up to 9,000 RPM. But in the time, we are removing valve stem seals. It is cold out. As you saw, there's snow on the ground outside. Winter really rolled up like, yo, who's talking crap? It really did. That meme that y'all seen, if you live in the Northeast, it's true. Not super cold, maybe 14 degrees Fahrenheit or so. But it's cold. It's cold. Got the kerosene heater chooching. And got some extra kerosene in that bag over there. And we're going to remove some valve stem seals. I guess my plan is, now that I'm in the garage and I'm still waiting on parts. I'm waiting for Dylan Dewson to finish Cerakoting some parts for me. He sent me some pictures today. They're really dope. I'll show you guys them in the next video. And then I'm also waiting on valve springs, like I said. I'm waiting on some Kingpin parts. I'm waiting on some prototype parts, and then I'll be able to put everything together. But I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to start assembling the subframe, because the subframe does need to go in. But the subframe assembly would probably go better in the car, because I need to put the rack in, so I need to figure that out. But we're going to finish the valve stem seals now, and then I'm going to get my head together, and we'll figure it out. All right, so why do I have a bunch of steering rack components on my table? Well, it's because I realized that I done messed up. So this is the manual rack for a Civic, and it has this bushing that allows it to mount to the rack over there. That's a Civic rack. You can see the diameter of this Integra rack is much larger. So to compensate for that, the engineers, I'm doing an air quote with my pinky and my third finger, my ring finger, they decided to replace the bracket with this thing. Fine, so bolt that up with that thing. So this is an Integra subframe. Problem comes in that this is a U-joint for a Civic. So when you put it on, it fits fine. Now, so did some research. Apparently, you got to get the U-joint from the Integra to make it work. Luckily, my friends also build piece of crap cars, and they probably have Integra stuff lying around that they can give me. If not, I have to go on eBay and get a U-joint, but it seems like the steering column is the same. It's just the joint that goes into the power steering rack that's larger. So it's not just a simple swap affair. I thought it would just be get all the rubbers off here and put it on this sealed up power rack, but it's not. So yeah, that's the next thing that we got to do. I'm going to do a little bit more research to make sure I'm okay with that. But good news is we got all the valves back in their spot in my special placeholder. It shows me the position of the valves and the springs. And we cleaned up the stems. One thing is, the tension that you set with this, I forget what it's called. It's some sort of, it sets tension with a spring and a placeholder for the rack. I wanted to make sure they both spun the same amount, like there was the same resistance amount. Okay. Civic rack is a little bit lighter. Integra rack is a little bit heavier, but I'm probably going to leave the Integra rack as is with the rack guide. It's called a rack guide adjustment. and not touch it. But what I do need to do still is I still need to get that U-joint so that I can make that rack fit up into the EG. It's always something, man. It's always something. So, remember we talked about this oil pickup. It's full of a bunch of crap. So I took a screwdriver, I scraped out all this kind of like junk you see on the table here. So then I took some oven cleaner and we're going to let it soak. It's going to clean out all of the oxidation, or all of the oxides. It's going to clean out all of the burned up oil, all the oxidized oil. And then hopefully we can hit it with some brake clean and clear up that screen so that we can run this sump for the GSR motor sitting under that rag over there. All right, so quick update. So we got two here. So this one, I think this is from the LS, and I think this is from the GSR. If you know, leave a comment. You know the deal. Oven cleaner, brake clean, degreaser, and soaking. We soaked them both. Look at how clean that is now. It's still got a little bit of RTV in there. We got to pick out with the screwdriver. We're starting with the air compressor right now. It's a very tiny air compressor I got for free. Thank you, Aunt. I made that little bracket to house my hoses. And then this is a Harbor Freight hose with a Harbor Freight attachment. It's just going to blow compressed air to clean out the pickup. Again, I believe this is GSR. I believe this is LS. Let me know. I need to sell the LS one I think this is an LS. Whichever one's the LS, I need to sell. And then I have a little pile over there of stuff that I'm starting to accumulate. And I'm going to sell stuff. That's all from the LS block. This is the GSR stuff. And then I got to start sorting this stuff out to get the LS stuff out. That small windage tray over there is definitely LS. Got to get rid of that. Sell that. These pump pickups. I got to sell these. And I'm going to keep the timing covers. They're kind of hard to come by. And then I'm going to, keep all the other stuff. That LS intake manifold's got to go, but I got to pull all the stuff off to make the Skunk 2 intake manifold work. So we're working in here, man. And I got my Kingpin bearings over there that I got to send out to Chris in that pile. So, yeah. Working, man.